Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. My dear viewers, welcome to another live edition of Ask Huda, a program in which we answer your questions and concerns in the light of the Quran and the sound Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In order to do that, we have some contact information I'd like to share with you, beginning with the phone numbers: area code 002, then 0238555132, then area code 002010054693323, WhatsApp numbers: area code 00134780625, and finally area code 0013614891503. The Facebook page is Salah Official, and also live on the YouTube, which is Dr. Muhammad Salah channel on the YouTube. While waiting for your valuable calls, questions and concerns, let me tackle some of the pending questions. Balighuddin Ahmad says, our parents during their life, they gave my 4 sisters a certain amount. After selling their property, nothing is given to sons from that. Now the inheritance is being shared as per Islamic law. Is it accepted in Islam, or what is the solution? Fact number 1, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded justice when it comes to giving valuable gifts to the children, sons and daughters. And the reference to that is in the hadith of An-Nu'man ibn Bashir, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, whom his father decided to give him a property, and he went to the Prophet ﷺ to ask him to witness the event. So the Messenger of Allah asked him, do you have other children than An-Nu'man? He said, yes, I do. He said, and did you give each and every one of them similar to what you give to An-Nu'man? He said, no, only to An-Nu'man. So the Prophet ﷺ refused to witness such contract, and he said, find somebody else to witness that, because فَإِنِّي لَا أَشْهَدُ عَلَى زُورٍ, this is falsehood. And he commanded in a straightforward command, اعدلوا بين أبنائكم, you have to be equitable and just when it comes to dealing with your children, sons and daughters. So if it happens and the father gave one of his children a property, then he died, then during the inheritance will be divided, and the person who's been given whatever during his parents' or father's life will also get and receive his or her share of the inheritance. Because if the parent is blameworthy, if he was not fair, that is something different than dividing the inheritance. So that should have been corrected during the life of your parents. Sometimes the parent or the parents may give one of the children something extra or more than others for a legitimate reason, like a child who is handicapped, a child who is not given much like the rest of the kids who are grown up, and they received a huge amount for the school tuitions, in the national education, sending them overseas, getting married and buying them the furniture. So he allocates certain amount or a property for the child who did not receive a similar amount. That's fair. Okay? Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Salah from the KSA, welcome to Ask Huda.
Sheikh, how are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Sheikh, I have 2 questions. The first one is, during a congregational prayer, some people, they come join the second rakah, for example. They complete the first I mean, they don't go with the Imam. They don't go. For example, the Imam is in Ruku. They don't go to Ruku. They complete the first rakah and second and join the Imam in the third rakah. I don't know whether what they are doing is right or wrong.
No, that's not right. This is not correct whatsoever. And their prayer is not a congregational prayer. It's not valid as a congregational prayer whatsoever.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikh. The second question is, Sheikh, is it permissible to read one particular surah or every time? For example, if we like some surah, is it permissible for me to recite the same surah every day in any prayer? For example, in Maghrib or Asr, I like one particular surah. Am I doing an innovation?
Okay.
Or is it allowed to do that?
Okay. No, it is not an innovation, and you can recite whichever surah and you can repeat the same surah over and over, especially if you're revising or memorizing and you like to recite it in the prayer. That's perfectly valid. Even though it is better to alternate, to recite from here and there, to revise the rest of other surahs, to ponder over the meaning of a different surah. But if you decide to recite one surah because you like it or it's easier for you, you memorize it more than others, that is permissible. Reciting a surah after Al-Fatiha is sunnah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Idris from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. Idris.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Brother Idris. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sheikh, I had two questions. It's not basically a question. I just needed a clarification that am I doing it correct or I'm wrong. Basically, when I'm having the nature's call or I'm doing the nature's call, after doing the nature's call, I do this istinja or washing my private parts. And after that, I usually do my wudu and pray my prayers. And I don't continuously do the istinja after I had my nature's call. And am I doing it correct or not? And my second question is that I have heard from you, I think I've heard it from you, that dividing the sunnah prayers of Zuhr is better than praying it four at one time. Is it correct or not? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Idris, can you hear me?
Yes.
Your first question was not clear. You said after going to the bathroom, answering the call of nature, you do istinja right before wudu. What was the question?
No. My question was that when I'm having the nature's call, after attending the nature's call, I do my istinja. And whenever I do the 5 daily prayers, I don't do it after I had the first nature's call when I'm done washing myself. I don't do it regularly. Is it correct or is it wrong?
طيب, I'd like to explain to the viewers. Every single time you do an excretion from one of the orifices, whether doing number 1 or number 2, that requires istinja, no questions asked. But if the person is renewing his wudu, or if his or her wudu was broken due to breaking wind, there is no need to do istinja. Istinja is washing one's private part. And it's a must to do istinja after answering the call of nature every time. But if it was due to breaking wind, you can just simply make wudu and that is sufficient. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amatullah from United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum, Amatullah. Amatullah. Okay, one more time.
Hi, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda. Go ahead.
How are you, brother Salah?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, Sister Amatullah. Go ahead.
MashaAllah, every time I see your this question answer session, I love this. A lot of problems people having, and they have good solution, and it's very easy now for us.
Alhamdulillah.
To understand things and all. Jazakallah, you just doing so good.
Jazana wa iyyakum. Thank you, Sister
And
Amatullah.
I really follow all your live session on YouTube. It's so good. Feels so good.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
May Allah accept from all of us.
can I ask one? I have a couple of questions, but yeah. So basically, my first question is, I just wanted to know. Let's say if I am interested in marrying somebody, and it's been said that always involved your wali, isn't it right?
Yeah, of course, the involvement of wali is.
Yeah. So the question is. Yes. So the question is, if I'm interested in somebody and I want to involve my wali, but before I involve my wali, before that I am not sure would that person is be interested in me or not. So how would this process work? I mean.
Okay, I got your question, Sister Amatullah. Do you have another one? You said you have a couple questions.
Yeah, another question is about the job. Basically, in UK, everyone has to pay tax, and hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, in UK, everyone has to pay tax, but sometimes when you're working for some private people, they are not willing to pay tax for you. So in that case, they just want you to pay cash in hand. So would that income be okay to earn, or it gonna come into haram?
Okay, got your question, Sister Amatullah from the UK. Two of your questions. Assalamu alaikum. Mustaqeen from Libya, welcome to Ask Huda Mustaqeen. نعم السلام عليكم. طيب, why don't you try again, Mustaqeen, please? Brother Muad from Singapore, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullah. Sheikh, how are you?
I'm doing great. You need to raise your voice, Muad, please.
Hello. Yeah, Sheikh, it's mentioned in the hadith that on Friday there's a specific hour when the when the dua is answered, right? So, do we need to be in a state of prayer, like waiting for the or in the musalla for being in the state of prayer, or can we just do the dua after Asr or before Maghrib, working or something like that?
Okay.
Can you please explain this?
Okay. Do you have another question?
No, Sheikh.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Salah from the KSA, her first question was concerning somebody who walks in to attend the Jama'ah. So if the Imam have already prayed 1 or 2 rak'ahs, so the person makes up those rak'ahs, he prays and he hastens, then he jumps into the Jama'ah, whereby that he has already made up the elapsed rak'ah which he missed with the Imam. No, that is not valid. In fact, in the second hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. According to this hadith, when you enter the masjid, or whenever you join the jama'ah anywhere in the masjid or outside the masjid, and you have missed whatever number of rak'ahs, join the imam in whichever position the imam is in ruku', in sujood, in tashahhud, join in. The rak'ah will only count if you join the imam in the position of ruku' and you managed to bow down comfortably and say at least once Subhana Rabbiyal Azim before the imam rises from ruku'. Then after the imam finishes, you need to continue what you missed. So your first rak'ah is whichever rak'ah you join with the imam. And then you would continue the rest of the number of rak'ahs as if you started with the imam in the last rak'ah. So the imam's last rak'ah for you happened to be your first rak'ah. But the person who catches up by making the missed rak'ahs then joining the imam, that is not valid. Amatullah from the UK had 2 questions. The first question is concerning if a woman is interested in marrying a man, but she's not sure whether the man likes her or if he's interested in marrying her or not. So the wali's involvement is a must for the validity of the marriage contract. How is she supposed to approach this matter? Inshallah, in the program which we will be filming shortly, which is Fiqh of Love, will be tackling this matter. What if a woman loves or likes a man and she wants to propose to him, and whether it's permissible or not, and what is the best way to do it? But for now, either through your brother or a friend, through another family, they can approach the person and introduce you to this man. And then maybe he has another commitment. Maybe he is not thinking of marrying now, and maybe once he sees you, he will open up to the idea. So once that happens, then you can meet in the presence of your mahram, and once you meet once or twice or three times and you find that there is chemistry, you can proceed towards the official engagement, then the aqd, and so on. So the involvement of the wali is to protect your rights from beginning to end, especially at the at the time of the writing the contract, because there is no marriage without the consent of the guardian. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mustaqim from Libya. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, brother.
How are you, Sheikh? Good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah.
What is your question?
Sheikh, my question is, I'm Nigeria, calling from Libya, all right? There are so many musicians in Nigeria, Islamic musicians. Are you hearing me, sir? They sing a lot of music, which is, and they there are so many scholars that says that music is not in Islam. Is it haram to eat, or is not haram to sing in an Islamic way and to bound to eat?
Okay.
That's my first question.
It would have been a lot easier if you say what is the ruling on playing music and singing songs and things of this nature. You know, I don't like to point fingers to, you know, there are some groups here or there who do that or say that. You know, I'm here to present what I know is true or false. And whenever there is a difference of opinion, I say, well, this is the opinion of Imam Malik or Ash-Shafi'i or the vast majority of the scholars or Ibn Taymiyyah or whatever, and we may give recommendation in the light of the available evidences. But I prefer not to speak about other groups or parties or what other countries do practice. Your question was answered in the episode of last Sunday, and it's on my page. It was answered in very detail. So if you're interested in listening to the full answer, inshallah, you can check it out on my page, Salah Official, on the Facebook page, and you will find the full answer with regards to listening to music and singing songs and also playing music. What is your second question, Mustaqim?
Now, my second question is Islam. In Libya, there are so many Libyans.
Okay. We're still on hold, waiting for you, Mustaqim.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is the Libyans. My question is the Libyans, which they are in Libya here. They are Muslims. When fasting in Shahr Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan, good iftar, bad iftar, they smoke cigarettes. Is it haram or halal?
They do what while fasting?
After iftar, bad iftar, they smoke cigarettes.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Got your question.
Cigarettes, and is it haram or halal?
Thank you, Mustaqim. Again, I like to, I don't want to use the word educate, but I like to share with my viewers that it will be a lot better if you just ask the question without pointing fingers, no names, no countries, no jama'as, no people, say, is it okay to smoke? What about if somebody was fasting and then soon after he breaks his fast, he smokes? Because this is not exclusive in Libya or some Libyan people. You see that in the Haram, in Mecca, people just finished their Umrah and they were fasting with the Ihram on. They step outside the Haram and they light their cigarette and they start smoking. Right or wrong? They do. I talk to people all the time and I say, you are in the Haram and you're smoking in the Haram, irrespective of their nationality. So if we focus on the act itself, it would be a lot better than pointing fingers and talking about people, nationalities and ethnicities and so on. So smoking in general, in my opinion, and based on my pharmacological researches, pathological researches, and also from fiqh point of view, is absolutely forbidden. And I will not be exaggerating if I say it is worse than drinking. When a person drinks, he only hurts himself, he destroys his liver, he makes a violation, and he is blameworthy before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person smokes, he hurts himself and he hurts everyone who's around him. Smoking is awful. Smoking, in my humble view, is without a shadow of a doubt absolutely forbidden. You find the Quran, the glorious Quran, commands us to protect the integrity of our bodies, of our souls. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا تلقوا بأيديكم إلى التهلكة. It is forbidden to throw yourselves into harm's way. Absolutely forbidden. Anything you know that it will inflict any harm on yourself or reciprocate it on others is forbidden. لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Everybody who purchases a pack of cigarette, by law, it is printed on every pack of cigarette that smoking kills. Doesn't it say so? What after when you read smoking kills? Smoking doesn't only kill the smokers, but the second-hand smokers as well. So it's forbidden. Whether you smoke after you break your fast, or you smoke on Eid day, or you smoke on any other day. It's only worse when you make this violation after you just fasted for a whole day, or in the Haram, or in the blessed days such as on the sacred days of the month of Al-Ashhur al-Hurum, and so on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Muhammad from Germany. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, wa alaikum salam.
Naam. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Yeah, Sheikh, my question today was about if I forget and recite loud the third rak'ah of Maghrib or Isha, or during Dhuhr and Asr, if I recite loud, do I have to repeat my prayer or it's okay? I forget.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Muhammad from Germany. No, you don't have to repeat your prayer. And if you do recite out loud, you may pray 2 prostrations by the end of your prayer for forgetfulness. And this is all what you need to do, and your prayer is valid. Barakallahu feek. Mu'adh from Singapore, he asked about the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, on every Friday there is sa'atu ijabah, some time where the dua will be accepted. Whenever you supplicate to Allah on Friday, during this time, your supplication is guaranteed to be answered and accepted. Then he said, does it mean that we should be praying during this time? The prayer here means a prayer in a sense of invoking Allah, making dua. Because in some athar and narrations, it refers to the time between Asr and Maghrib, the last time of Friday. And this time, it is disliked to pray any unnecessary nawafil or unrequired nawafil. What do you mean unrequired nawafil? There are emphatic and non-emphatic sunan. After Asr, there is no sunnah whatsoever. It is known as waqtu karah. But when you enter the masjid, to sit down, you should not sit down before praying Tahiyatul Masjid. So this is a required nafila. Besides that, you're not supposed to make any voluntary prayer during this time. So when you sit in the masjid, you recite Quran, you supplicate to Allah, you send the peace and blessings upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of that augments answering your supplication, because according to many of the athar, the sa'a, or the time during which the dua will be accepted, the prayer, the supplication will be answered and accepted on Friday, is after Asr until sunset of Friday. So brothers and sisters, Amatullah, the question about taxes and so on, I advise everyone not to put themselves in trouble with the law. Okay? From a halal and haram perspective, if I work for somebody and he or she is not doing their duties, I'm not liable. I collect my salary, I'm not liable. You know, it's okay, I'm working and I'm earning halal money, I'm not responsible. But I'm asking everyone to make certain not to break a law or to be an outlaw, so that they will not be in trouble with the local law. May Allah guide us to what is best. We'll take a short break and inshallah we'll be back in a couple minutes. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. And our phone numbers should appear on the bottom of the screen for your reference. We have Sister Maryam from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Maryam.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine. What is your question?
It's a long time to talk to you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Go ahead.
Sheikh, I want to know. We don't have Huda TV here in my employer house. I want to know. When I went Hajj, there's 3 times tawaf. So there's also 3 times sa'i, or one time.
Okay, I think I got your question. Were you doing Hajj and Umrah all together? Or you did Umrah?
No, only Hajj. I Hajj only. Tawaf al-Ifrad.
You did
Hajj al-Ifrad.
Okay, you did Hajj al-Ifrad. So when you reached Mecca, you did your Tawaf, then you did Sa'i, correct?
Yeah. Tawaf al-Qudum.
Correct.
Tawaf al-Ifada, Tawaf al-Wadi. I didn't do Sa'i.
I understand. When did you do Sa'i? After Tawaf al-Qudum?
Yeah, only.
Okay, listen, Sister Maryam. If you're doing Hajj al-Ifrad, you're required to do 1 Sa'i. You do Tawaf al-Qudum, and if you do the Sa'i after Tawaf al-Qudum, then that's it. You don't need to do another Sa'i. So when you do Tawaf al-Ziyara, or when you do Tawaf al-Ifada, when you come from Arafah and you do Tawaf al-Ifada, you don't have to do another Sa'i. But if you did not do the Sa'i after the first Tawaf, then you have to do Sa'i after Tawaf al-Ifada. And that's it. So it's only 1 Sa'i. And then when you do Tawaf al-Wada', the farewell Tawaf, it is not required to do another Sa'i. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, Sister Maryam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sheikh.
Sister Nadia, welcome to Ask Huda. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, Sheikh, in cases of necessity makes forbidden things permissible, in which a person will harm in terms of 5 essential things: religion, life, honor, and wealth. It's not take haram option. So paying high rent instead of buying house, does it comes paying high rents instead of buying house on from riba? Does it come under the ruling of the haram harm to your wealth? And if not, then what is the concept of harm to your wealth in Islam? Actually, what does it means? Because as a growing Islamophobia all over the world, there are some cases with some Muslims living in the Western countries. They face so many problems living there. People, they are not giving they can't afford to pay high rents, and they can't even go back, and they can't even take a mortgage or indulge in riba to buy a house. So what a Muslim should do? So in this case, the harm to wealth, does this concept comes under this ruling?
Thank you, Sister Nadia. The way you present the question reminds me with putting an answer on the tongue of the Sheikh. But let me explain to you what is the meaning of necessity first, since you're talking about the principles of jurisprudence, so we don't jump into conclusion. The word necessity was mentioned in the Quran multiple times, and when you examine, for instance, the ayah which was mentioned on Surah Al-Baqarah or in Surah Al-Ma'idah, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ. That is ayah number 173, chapter number 2. What Allah has forbidden for you, al-mayta, ad-dam, the blood, lahm al-khinzir, the swine flesh, and whatever was slaughtered under the name other than the name of Allah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. But whoever is forced by necessity, neither desiring it, nor transgressing its limits, then there is no sin upon him. Indeed, Allah is Ghafurun Rahim. There is also another reference in Surah Al-Ma'idah, but it says, فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, in the same context. Ayah number 3, chapter number 5, and so on. So ad-darura is whenever there is a life threat. Whenever there is a life threat. If the person is starving and there is nothing to spare his life but a meat, which he certainly knows it is a dead meat, or a meat of a swine, or a meat of a dog, or a meat of an animal which is not permissible for us to eat. What is the solution? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ. And the ayah of Surah Al-Ma'idah, فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ. A combination of all means, he doesn't desire it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want it. Nor is he transgressing its limits. Yani, so when he eats just to survive. Just to survive. So in this case, that is permissible. The example you gave is a wrong analogy. There is no harm to your wealth. The harm to your wealth will happen when you choose to pay mortgage, to pay riba, or when you choose to charge interest. If you deposit your money in a conventional bank where there is interest accumulated, you take it and you benefit out of it. That's pure riba. When you pay likewise, there is no distinction between charging or paying, okay? But the necessity concerning wealth, like, here I have a family. I have to pay the rent. And I don't have money. Landlord will kick me out. I went to the center, I went to the brothers, to the sisters, they refuse to give me any. If I don't take a loan, even though it's an interest-based loan, my family will be homeless, will be thrown in the street. That's a necessity. Okay? I can't find any job to feed my family, but work in a place where I know it's haram to feed the family for a limited period until you find a lawful job, not to save money, not to make an investment, just to feed your family, So the idea of applying this necessity in the case of, we here as Muslims with this Islamophobia and all of that, we've been through all of that. If you have people who can help you with a goodly loan or do some sort of investment with you, no riba. You have 40% of the price of the house. and they will purchase 60%, and you keep buying from them their shares. Meanwhile, you're paying them rent until you settle the payment. Cool, halal, that's perfectly fine. But to go willingly, yeah, you have a flat, you rent a property, and mashallah, you're doing okay. But you go to buy a house, you want to fulfill the American dream. You want to own your own house. With mortgage, no, haram. In Islam, this is not permissible, and that is not a necessity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Aisha from Sudan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan, ya Sheikh. Thank you very much for helping the Ummah, inshallah.
Thank you, brother Abu Aisha. Go ahead.
So I have one request today. I want you to pray for my dad who passed away on Wednesday last week.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah have
And
mercy
you
on
ask
him.
the Ummah also to make dua for him.
May Allah have mercy on him, Abu Aisha.
Inshallah.
What was his name?
Inshallah. I mean,
What was
Ismail.
his? Ismail. May Allah have mercy on your dad.
Ismail Juf.
May Allah make his grave a garden of paradise. May Allah raise his ranks in heaven and
Ameen, ya
make his
Rabbil
hisab easy. Ameen, ameen, ameen.
Ameen, ya Rabbi.
Allahumma aghfir lahu warham. Thank
Ameen.
you, Abu Aisha,
Ameen.
and accept,
Jazakumullah khairan,
please accept
Sheikh.
our
Jazakumullah
condolences.
khairan.
I'm sorry
Barakallah
to hear that, and may Allah have mercy on him. طيب. I think we had, I need to take the question of Agira Firdos. She sent a question online, and she says, after salam and dua and greeting, she says, the question is about the funeral procession for women. As I have read and understood that it is forbidden for women to walk with the men to the burial procession. Allah knows best. My question is, it haram or forbidden? Well, haram and forbidden actually are the same. The word haram in English means forbidden, prohibited. Atiyya radiyallahu anha narrated in the sound hadith, which is agreed upon its authenticity, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade women from following the funeral procession. ولم يعزم علينا نهينا عن اتباع الجنائز ولم يعزم علينا أو ولم يعزم علينا يعني the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم did not put emphasis. From this context, the vast majority of the scholars understood that it is disliked, makruh, discouraged, but it is not haram. Only Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, perceived it as karahatu tahrim. It's like it's haram for women to follow the funeral procession to the burial place, because they're very impatient when it comes to losing a loved one, a husband, a son, a father. So they may lead them to breaking down and screaming, shouting, saying forbidden statements, unlike men who may endure that patiently. But attending the funeral prayer for women is permissible. And Aisha radiyallahu anha attended the funeral prayer of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and that was in Al-Masjid al-Nabawi. So you go to attend the funeral prayer. It was in the masjid, it was at home, or any place that is permissible. Imam Shawkani, may Allah have mercy on him, said it is permissible if a woman, and it's not disliked, if a woman can control her emotions. And she guarantees that she's not, gonna have breakdown and saying things which will create a big mess. What is better? Attend the funeral prayer and not follow the procession to the graveyard. Thank you, Sister Agira Firdos. I'm trying to take a few questions from here and there as well. Mary is saying that, should I keep forcing my son and husband to pray, or just be patient, because it always ends up with a big problem. He doesn't like when I force our son to pray. May Allah guide him, and may Allah guide your son. وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah said in Surah Az-Zariyat, keep reminding, because the reminder will benefit the believers. It's unimaginable for a Muslim family to have a Muslim member of the family who's not praying, whether it is the father, the mother, or a son. It is something terrible. So besides making dua, lots of dua for them, keep reminding them non-stop. Tell them or him or her that imagine the blessings, the countless blessings which the Almighty Allah is bestowing upon us. Imagine that when you get up at night, you just go to the bathroom, answer the call of nature without any fatigue, without any urine retention, without having, some people to carry you to go to the bathroom. You just walk on your own. You find it very easy to answer the call of nature. This is a great blessing. Shouldn't you be thankful to Allah for His countless blessings? When the Prophet ﷺ was praying at night until his feet swelled, and Aisha would ask him, why do you burden yourself while you're already offering the faridah? And you pray tahajjud, but take it easy on yourself. Why do you burden yourself so much to the extent that I see your feet been swelled? And he says, أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. So if there is nothing in the prayer other than giving thanks, showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, comparing yourself to less fortunate people. You have a house, you're healthy, you have parents, you have a wife, you have children. Tell him thank you. And one of the best and the most ideal ways to say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is by obeying Him, is by literally showing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you're really grateful to Him. How can a person be grateful while he doesn't say رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدِ in the prayer? While he doesn't line up in the prayer, at least the fard, the mandatory 5 daily prayers. Take the initiative. When you pray only the faridah, you will know and you will recognize what you're missing. May Allah guide us what is best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amatullah from United Kingdom. And that's another Amatullah, I believe so. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have one question.
Yeah.
And the question is, I am asking on the behalf of a sister who got married 3 years ago. And she was living with her husband who came from Italy. They were living together in her house. And she was working in that period and she was spending on both of them. But unfortunately, the husband did not find job, so he went back to America to search for a job. And he was away for 1 year. And he told his wife that once he found a good job, she will go in America as well. The problem is when he found job, he changed his mind and he said, you cannot come here unless you sell your house, because the house was hers and her family. So he told her, you cannot come unless you sell the house and come with the money, or you gain a master degree like me. And he told her that he cannot, because it's a difficult life in America, she should take care of herself.
Okay.
She should work like him.
Okay.
And she told him that's not a good Muslim, and he said the way she thinks in a marriage is the old style.
Okay.
And after that, she asked him divorce for this reason. So is that okay? Because practically she cannot sell the house and she has no any master degree. So and he made as a shart.
طيب, I got your question, Sister Amatullah. In case that all what you said is correct, so the answer is in the light of your question. If I were in her position, I would tell this man, take a hike. I'm not interested in coming to the States or living with you or even being your wife anymore. If a man does not shoulder his responsibility and he is not willing to spend out of his earning on his wife and his children, And for 1 year he was enjoying the free ride, and now when he's working, he's putting obstacles, and he still wants his wife to provide for him or to sell the house, perhaps to not buy another house in the States. He is not worthy of living with. He is not a real man to marry. Wallahu ta'ala ala alam. I'm just saying again the clause, if all what you said is correct. Brothers and sisters, by that we've come to the end of today's edition of Ask Huda. But Idris from Pakistan, yes, according to the hadith with regards to the sunnah before Dhuhr, the Prophet ﷺ said, Salatul Layli wa Nahar, Masna, Masna, 2 by 2. May Allah grant us all success in our life and in the hereafter. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech.